Today, we're going to talk about the first appearances and key issues for the greatest day of the week. New Comic Book Day, August 31st, 2022. That's coming up next. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr, and this is the Small Town Collectibles YouTube channel. So what's going on, guys? Before we get into the list this week, if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, won't you do that now? Hit that subscription button. Turn on that notification bell so that you get notified when I put out new content. Smash that like button and leave a comment below and let me know what you think about the video and tell me what books you're looking forward to this week. All right, so I'm ready to get into the list this week. Not a big list per se, not a ton of indie stuff coming out, ton of one-shots, and there's some good covers this week, but I still think some good books on the list. Got my UK gear on. I'm ready to do the list. This is the start of college football season for my Kentucky Wildcats. First game, home opener is this Saturday. Cannot wait. And I wear my UK gear all week in celebration that college football season is starting. And I just realized as I sat here today, this is the exact same shirt I had on last Monday. So what are you going to do? All right, let's get into this thing and let's jump into our covers. Now, some good covers this week. The first one up is Deathstroke Inc. number 12. This is the cover D incentive from Ivan Tao. This is a sick Deathstroke cover. I absolutely love this one. I pre-ordered this bad boy, and you can find it on sale for about $35. Great Deathstroke cover. Love that one. Next up, we've got Hellcop number 10, the cover C variant by Brian Haberlin. I don't know why exactly I like this cover, but it really stood out to me when I looked at it. I think it's very cool. It's just a beautiful piece of art, really. And then there is a virgin cover of this. It's an incentive, and that is the cover D. Probably some of the coolest covers for a current title right now is this Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer, and this week is no different. This is Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer number 4. This is the cover D incentive from David Finch. This comes from Opus Comics. And then there is a virgin cover, which is the cover E for $25. These covers are just fire. I absolutely have loved every single one of them. All right, next up from Vault, we've got West of Sundown number 5. This is the cover B variant by Jim Terry. It's kind of like that Hellcop cover. I don't know why I like it. I just do. I just think this is a very cool cover. You got your vampire on the front. I don't know. I just dig it. Absolutely dope cover. All right, last two covers on our list this week. First is from Peach Momoko, and that's that Amazing Fantasy number 1000. I've said it on here many times. When Peach works for me, it works, and this cover works. You know, the other stuff she does, I just don't like at all. But when she hits it, and I think this one is a home run. Absolutely love this cover for Amazing Fantasy 1000. And then the last cover is a Thunderbolts cover. This is an incentive cover as well. It's the 1 in 25 from Paulo Sequeira, and that is Thunderbolts number 1. I just love this, like the Uncle Sam, We Want You with Hawkeye on the cover. I don't know. I just think it looks cool. Absolutely dig that one as well. All right, so that's it for our covers this week. Let's jump over into our second prints. Most of these come from DC, and it's from the same title. First up, we've got Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths number 1. This is the second print, cover A from Daniel Samperi. Now, there are several of these from Dark Crisis, and there's an incentive cover for each one of these that is a full variant. And they're running about, I think I saw like $40 on Midtown. So Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 1, second print, you got the cover A, which is just your normal cover, and then cover B, which is the full variant. We also have Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 2, second print, also from Daniel Samperi. Same thing on this one. There's a cover B. It's just a full variant. And then Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 3, second print, cover A, again from Daniel Samperi, as well as the cover B, which again is the full cover. All right, last book in our second prints this week is Fortnite X Marvel Zero, number 2. This is the cover G, second print from Sergio Davila. So yeah, my nephews are loving these books. I've been getting these for them so they can get the skins for the Fortnite game. So I'll be picking this up. I think I've already got this one for them. So no, I won't be picking this up. But if you missed the first print, you can grab this and grab that code for the game. All right, now let's get into our one-shots, and we got a bunch of these this week. First up from DC, we've got DC Saved by the Bell Reeve #1. School's back in session, and we just know you're waiting for the bell to give you some Reeve leaf. That is corny, and I'm a corny person, and that is corny. All right, you can't say we didn't try. DC Saved by the Bell Reeves halls are packed with 8 tales of school time fun from around the DC universe. So I guess that's kind of a Bell Reeve, Saved by the Bell kind of mashup. That could be fun. DC Saved by the Bell Reeve #1 from DC. Also from DC, we've got a couple annuals this week. We've got Flash 2022 annual #1. This kind of follows Wally West and Linda Park. They kind of get a little vacation, but end up on an adventure they just did not expect. Then we've got Harley Quinn, the animated series, The Real Sidekicks in New Gotham special #1. That show is really cool. That what is called Eat, Bang, Kill Tour. That was a cool book and a cool television show. What happens when writers from Harley Quinn, the TV show, and Harley Quinn, the animated series, the Eat, Bang, Kill Tour, the comic book, get together and swap stories from New Gotham? Absolute mayhem. That's what. So yeah, that sounds fun. I think you get to see Clayface, Batgirl, Frank the Planet, and Harley Quinn sidekick the Joker in this book. Harley Quinn, I've never been a big fan of her books necessarily as far as the way they read, but I really enjoy the TV show, and I've enjoyed the comic book that was just out. So this might be cool to pick up as a one-shot. And then you do have the Harley Quinn annual, the Harley Quinn 2022 annual #1 out this week as well. Tune in for the final installment of Harley Quinn's Task Force XX Space Extravaganza, plus start of a new status quo for Harley Quinn. So that's Harley Quinn 2022 annual #1. Now, this one shot I'm absolutely looking forward to this week. As always, as I say, I'm a Superman homer, but we've got Superman War World Apocalypse #1. If you haven't read War World, the Action Comics run and then this War World was awesome. Like, it's some of the best Superman storytelling in some time. I cannot wait to check this out. And then this is kind of bringing in like the fourth world, the Jack Kirby creation back in the 70s. So yeah, I'm absolutely all over this. The synopsis is it has all led to this, the final battle between Superman and Mongol, and between the Authority and Mongol's unmade champions. The identity of the Hooded Stranger has been revealed, uncovering a shocking betrayal that threatens to crush Superman's rebellion forever. But as the fate of Warworld relies on Superman, the last chance to return his powers now lies with Natasha and John Henry Irons. From the visionary creative team of Philip Kennedy Johnson, Brandon Peterson, and Will Conrad, empires fall and rise, and the fourth world is reborn in this jaw-dropping final chapter. So yeah, I'm absolutely Fourth World by Kirby's one of my favorites of all times. You get Mr. Miracle out of that, Darkseid, all those characters. I mean, Omega, just you name it, just great characters came out of that, and I can't wait to read this. And then from Dynamite, we've got Elvira, Wrath of Khan #1. Of course, that's a play on Star Trek. And in this book, basically, you get Elvira going to a Comic-Con and all the mayhem that happens from there. So that could be a fun read. From Marvel, we've got Amazing Fantasy 1000. It's the comic that brought you Spider-Man Hits issue number 1000, written by Neil Gaiman, Armando Iannucci, Jonathan Hickman, Dan Slott, Ho Che Anderson, Kurt Busiek, Anthony Falcone, Rainbow Rowell, and more. Art by Jim Chung, Oliver Kopel, Michael Cho, Goran Parvlov, and more. It says we're going to celebrate in this, our 1000th issue of Amazing Fantasy. An all-star roster of creators are coming together to celebrate Peter Parker and Spider-Man's birthdays. Also says you get a reintroduction of the Witch Queen. I know this will probably be a popular book this week. There are some cool covers for this one, so be on the lookout for those. Next up, we've got Thunderbolts, Marvel Tales #1. A new super team delivers justice like lightning as we celebrate the legacy of the House of Ideas with Marvel Tales. This anthology series shines a spotlight on fan-favorite characters, features timeless stories, and highlights some of Marvel's most impressive talent from the past 8 decades. In the wake of tragedy, the Thunderbolts rise to defend a shaken populace. But what is the team's shocking secret? Meet Atlas, Mach 1, Meteorite, Songbird, Techno, and their leader, Citizen V, as they battle the Wrecking Crew and the Circus of Crime in Thunderbolts issues 1 and 2 from 1997, courtesy of legendary creators Kurt Busiek and Mark Bagley. The T-Bolts tackle a rampaging Hulk, Incredible Hulk number 449 from 1968, and their legend spreads in the Tales of the Marvel Universe number 1, but all is not what it seems. Prepare to relive the greatest trick Marvel Comics ever pulled. So I think that's going to be cool. If you don't know much about the Thunderbolts, this could be a good way to introduce yourself to them. So that's Thunderbolts Marvel Tales number 1. Next up, we've got Cerebus in Hell presents Kurt versus Kurtz number 1, riffing on Harvey Kurtzman. Does anyone even know who Harvey Kurtzman is anymore? Riffing on Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness. Does anyone even know who Joseph Conrad is anymore? Or Heart of Darkness, for that matter. Riffing on Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now. Does anyone even know who Francis Ford Coppola or Apocalypse Now are anymore? Oh, the horror. Riffing on Steamboat Willie. Okay, now you're talking. A 24-page Steamboat Willie riff with a bunch of stuff you've never heard of mixed in. So I think that sounds fun, and these Cerebus books are generally a pretty fun read. It's not something I pick up every time it comes out, but that one kind of interests me, especially with the Apocalypse Now, Heart of Darkness reference, and Steamboat Willie for that matter. So I'm definitely going to check that out as well. That Cerebus in Hell presents Kurtz versus Kurtz number 1. Book I'm really looking forward to. This has got kind of an interesting story behind it, and that's Classified Black Box number 1, and that is from Fair Square Comics. Uli Troy is a historian working at the secret White House storage facility somewhere in Maryland. He never thought he'd stumble upon one of the most explosive secrets American presidents have managed to keep under wraps. A music box which stayed in the Oval Office for 200 years and recorded every conversation in the room, unbeknownst to anyone. The black box was produced in 2011 and similarly remained hidden for over a decade. Fabrici Spolowski had just finished co-writing Spider-Man Noir miniseries for Marvel, and Tom Lyle was looking to re-enter the comic book game after a 5-year hiatus. Unfortunately, Tom passed away in November 2019. Prior to his untimely passing, he and Fabrici made plans to bring the black box back with its original tale, plus new ones they would co-write. In 2022, this story finally sees the light of day. So that's Classified Black Box number 1 from Fair Square Comics. I think the story sounds great. I'm looking forward to that, and I really kind of dig that backstory with the creators. All right, next up from Boom Studios, we've got Firefly 20th Anniversary Special number 1. In this commemorative 20th Anniversary Special, discover 2 never-before-told stories from Serenity's past and future. First, writer Jorge Corona teams with artist Jordi Perez on a journey through the past like a leaf on the wind alongside the original crew of the ship. Then, Josh Gordon and Fabina Mascalo, the team behind Brand New Verse, force the future crew to keep a deadly weapon hidden at all costs, but those that originally hid it away are more familiar than they realize. So that is Firefly 20th Anniversary Special number 1 from Boom Studios. From King Spot, we've got Grubs Summer Special number 1, soon to be an animated television series adapted by showrunner MJ Offen, head writer of Cartoon Network's Jade Armour. Max Weaver's Grubs returns in this special issue with new artist Phila Fabio, and it's a grab bag of sunny fun as Troublemaker recaps his wild summer. Racing rickety cars in a soapbox derby, birthday parties gone wrong, summer camp chaos, desperate fights with siblings for control of the big screen TV. If you've got a short attention span and are a fan of slice of life comics about childhood like Calvin and Hobbes, this is the comic book for you. That's Grubs Summer Special number 1, and that is from King Spot. All right, for you Power Ranger fans out there, Boom has a book out this week, or at least a one-shot. Power Rangers Unlimited Death Ranger number 1. The legendary Omega Rangers defend the universe from evil thousands of years ago. The 6 of them are using their elemental powers to protect others from sinister forces. But all that changed when one key member turned on the others, seduced by the death-defying powers of the Rangers' greatest foe. How does this Ranger connect to what's locked in the mysterious Omega Vault in Safe Haven so many millennia later, as everything converges in this highly anticipated charge to 100? So that's Power Rangers Unlimited Death Ranger number 1. This book also has a lot of cool covers. I didn't include any of them. I'm not a big Power Rangers fan, but if you are, there's a lot of cool covers to be on the lookout for this one as well. All right, so that's it for our one-shots. Let's jump into the big 2. Don't have any for DC this week. I think all the key books for DC are one-shots this week. I do have one for Marvel. That is a new Thunderbolts series. This is Thunderbolts Volume 4, Number 1. In the aftermath of Devil's Reign, the Big Apple has big problems, and it's up to a new group of Thunderbolts to turn things around. But when Clinton Barton gets taxed with heading up this team and proving they can go toe-to-toe with anything the Marvel Universe can throw at them, the first opponent he's going to have to face is himself. So new series with a new Thunderbolts team. That's Thunderbolts number 1, and that is volume 4 of that series. All right, now let's jump over into our indie books this week. From American Mythology, a little nostalgia for me this week. We got Robonic Stooges presents Stooge Wars number 1. This is basically the Three Stooges as robots. I'm definitely picking this one up. I watched the Three Stooges every morning before school. Let's see, what was it? Little Rascals, Three Stooges, and then G.I. Joe came on. So those were the shows that I watched as a kid. I love the Three Stooges. I'm going to pick this one up and give it a read. From Dynamite, we have a new boys book out this week, and that's Boys number 1. That's the Cover F Gold Full Edition. So this is the Gold Full of number 1. New book out this week. If you never got a chance to pick that one up, maybe you can grab this cover. An ash can for those people out there that like to collect ash cans. We've got from Frank Miller Presents. We have Frank Miller Presents Ash Can Edition number 1. Frank Miller Presents Ash Can Edition, previewing the company's first 2 new series, Ronin Book 2 and Ancient Enemies, with original stories by Frank Miller, Philip Tan, Daniel Herkes, and Dan Diablo and Danilo Baruth. Highly collectible first publication according to the synopsis. So that's Frank Miller Presents Ash Can Edition number 1. A couple of books from IDW this week. We've got Star Trek Picard Stargazer number 1. Embark on a never-before-seen journey set between seasons 2 and 3 of the Paramount Plus hit series Star Trek Picard. When the USS Stargazer goes missing near a planet from its past, Admiral Jean-Luc Picard enlists Seven's help to unravel the mystery and save the Stargazer crew. So that is Star Trek Picard, Stargazer number 1. Also this week from IDW, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Best of Baxter Stockman. He's an inventor. He's a mad genius. He's a cutthroat businessman. He's a villain. He's a hero. He's been a mutant fly. He's even been the mayor of New York City. But most importantly, he is never, ever boring. This is Baxter Stockman at his very best. Just ask him. So that sounds fun for all you Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans out there. I may even check that one out. I kind of like the way that sounds. And then the last book from IDW, very cool book, Transformers Shattered Glass 2, number 1. Shattered Glass is back. Optimus Prime is a ruthless tyrant, so Optimus is the bad guy. And Megatron is a compassionate peacekeeper. Yep, flipping the script, baby. Cybertron sits on the brink of war as Autobots and Decepticons race to gain control of a Titan that could destroy either side in nanocycles. While everyone has their eyes on Titan, Ultra Magnus, a powerful shadow broker, puts into action a plan kilocycles in the making. So I think that sounds fun. Transformers Shattered Glass 2, number 1. From King Spot, we've got Kid Slapshot number 1. From the artist of the popular parody, The Mango Lorian, comes a new kid-friendly adventure. If you ever wished your favorite merc with a mouth was suitable for all ages and unhealthily obsessed with hockey, your wish has been granted by Kid Slapshot. He's the last human boy alive on a planet of monsters known as Pit's Hole, and it is the Pits. When a cosmic deity gives Slapshot, don't call him Kid, a choice, he leaves his home world with some awesome new gadgets and his best pal, Dilsey. Together they set out in search of a new home and a good time. Instead, all they find is trouble. That is Kid Slapshot number 1, and that is from King Spot Entertainment. All right, from Mad Cave, a couple of cool titles, I think, out this week from Mad Cave. Now, these aren't new. They're kind of, well, one is kind of a reimagining, and that's Mad Cave Studios' Legacy Battle Cats number 1. MCS Legacy Battle Cats number 1 goes back to the beginning and reimagines the entire first volume of Battle Cats with a reimagined story, all new art, and 5 beautiful character covers by Jesse Longren. This is the Battle Cats the way it was intended to be. Follow Kelthan, Vela, Zorian, Kalera, and Makar as they undertake a perilous quest through different regions in pursuit of the dire beast while unearthing dark secrets and even darker enemies. But first, Kelthan and the Battle Cats must journey through the dark forest, facing an unexpected enemy from their past. Great for existing fans who want to see their favorite characters refreshed, or new fans looking to get into the series for the first time. So I think that sounds kind of cool. If you're a Battle Cats fan, or if you're not, kind of get the best of both worlds with that. So I think that sounds neat. Mad Cave Studios Legacy Battle Cats #1. Then you've also got Mad Cave Studios Legacy Nottingham #1. Now this is not a reimagining. This is just a reprint of Nottingham #1 for you to go through and read. The synopsis basically says MCS Legacy Nottingham #1 is a reprint of the critically acclaimed series with a special cover by Coley Hamner. In this twisted medieval noir, the sheriff of Nottingham hunts a serial killer with a penchant for tax collectors. The sheriff's investigation makes him the target of England's most nefarious power brokers. That's to say nothing of the merry men, terrorists lurking amongst the trees of Sherwood, led by an enigma known only as the Hood. If you haven't read Nottingham, you should check it out. It's actually a really, really good read. And if you missed that #1, because it wasn't a big print run and it's a pretty hard book to come up with, here's your chance to pick it up and give it a read. Now, outside of the Superman War World book, this is probably going to be my must read this week, and that's from Scout Comics, and that is Forever Forward #1. Sci-fi writer Zach Kaplan and artist Arjuna Susini take you on a sci-fi adventure like no other, one that imagines time traveling through the future as an Odyssey-style mythic journey home. When brilliant young scientist Dr. Lewis Moody accidentally launches himself, his secret longtime crush, and 3 best friends 33 years into the future with his unproven quantum time machine, they find a mysterious message from their future selves. The only way back is forward. Now, as they jump again and again through strange future times, will they one day find the technology to time travel back, or are they doomed hopelessly to travel forward forever? So that's kind of like Quantum Leap, that TV show. I used to watch that back in the day as well. But from Scout Comics, that is Forever Forward #1. And the last book from our indie companies this week is NOA, Not Otherwise Authorized #1. The NOA agency is authorized for one target only, the international master criminal Nimrod. A simple task given to a team of agents who all embarrass their superiors one way or another. Except with Nimrod, nothing is simple. Soon the fate of New York hangs in the balance, and then maybe the world. That's NOA, Not Otherwise Authorized #1 from SourcePoint Press. All right, that is it for our key issues this week. Let's jump into our last category, which is our first appearances. First up, from DC, we've got DC Saved by the Bell Reeve #1. We get the first appearance of Sydney, an ally of Tim Drake and John Kent's. Now we jump over to Marvel. We've got Thunderbolts #1, where we get the first appearance of Guts and Glory, the first appearance of Egro, the Unbreakable, and a new Thunderbolts roster: Hawkeye, Spectrum, America Chavez, Power Man, Persuasion, Guts and Glory, Egro, the Unbreakable. So that could be fun. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that one, and I am going to check that one out this week. So that's Thunderbolts #1 with a few first appearances. Then from Boom, we've got Power Rangers Unlimited, Death Ranger #1. This is the first appearance of Sister Supernova. And from what I've read, this could be a fairly key book for this series. So if you're a first appearance collector, you may want to grab this one. And then wrapping up our first appearances this week, we've got Gambit #2. We get the first appearance of Solars, referred to as a business mogul. And Solars is also mentioned in the solicitation for issue #3. That's why I believe you're going to see him in this book. All right, guys, that is it today. That's our list, right? Some cool covers. I think some cool reads, especially in the one-shots, and then a couple of cool books from the indie companies. Really kind of a slow week for the big two. As I said earlier, I think the key books from the big two this week are kind of in the one-shot category. So there you go. Still tons of stuff to buy. Still, as always, the wallet will be on fire, right? So guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for coming over and hanging out on my channel for a little while today. I really do appreciate it. Hope this video helps you in some way making your selections on this new comic book day, August 31st, 2022. It's insane. September's here. College football season's here. Guys, hope you have the greatest new comic book day ever. I know I'm going to. And you know how we end this thing. Until next time.